Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Uduo Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I am with Anne Wagasha. I like that name, Wagasha. Is that how
you call me Anne Wagasha? My name is Anne Muhia. I'm just married to Wagasha. I've not changed names yet.
You never change names these days.
Not yet. It might come, but for now,
I don't think you're gonna change. I don't think you're gonna change.
Because there's here Anne Wagasha now. People will be confused. They'll search Anne Wagasha and not find me.
Anne Muhia.
Thank you.
But also they don't search. Do they search Anne Muhia, or they search Anne?
Sometimes both. Unprepared to entrepreneur.
Unprepared to entrepreneur. It's a mouthful.
Yeah. I'm trying to do something about
that.
Inanisumbwanga
sana.
In fact, most people call me unprepared entrepreneur. So the two is so important because it represents the journey.
Yeah.
Now when you miss the two, then I am an unprepared entrepreneur. Not unprepared to entrepreneur.
It's I like the way people think about the names of the business. Then we come to the market and realize.
And then you realize, and I probably overthink.
and sometimes even you should look at how people, because Google usually gives me how people search for me.
Yeah.
They give me a long list of my search and how the people arrive at me. So
how does that look like?
Yeah, there are people who search DWJ. There are people who say Udur Dialogues. There's people who say Jagero Dialogues.
Udur Dialogues?
Yes.
Strange.
Those
must be people from your village.
There are people who just say Udur Jagero. Like, I think there are about 9 or 10 of how they usually search for my content. Do you know how they search for your content?
Actually, I've never checked. Now I will. I've never checked. Now I will.
There's a way they check for your content. We are talking about business and failure. Right? That is the correct way of calling it, right? Business and failure. And we're going to borrow a little bit from your story. I want to ask you a question before we get into your business journey.
Okay.
The question is, are you able to tell me an overview of why businesses fail? Like, if you are told to give a one paragraph or a one sentence of why business fail, or you explain it the way you want, why do businesses fail?
I think generally in Africa, it's ignorance. And for those who are not ignorant, they are arrogant. So it could either be one of those two. And those are, they are packed. Let me try to unpack.
Yes.
So ignorance in the sense that our education system supports employment. Like you are there so that then when you come out, you get employment. Not innovate, not be an entrepreneur. So you'll find that most of the school work we did, business education was such a small part of the whole curriculum, such that when you leave school and now you want to do business, you have no clue. You don't know what you're doing. So most of us have been learning through try and error. It's expensive, it's time consuming, it breaks you emotionally, and it's tough. It's tough. Arrogance is when, let's say, you leave employment and you leave school and you get employed. And then from employment, let's say you rise the ranks and then now you start your own business. Let's say, I'll even give my own example as a finance manager, group head of finance. So I leave and I've done stuff. I have this confidence, and I'm thinking, I've succeeded, so I'm smart. So I should be able to succeed on this other side. And unto you. You find out, actually, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still have to do the try and error.
Before we get into your story again, I want to probe a little bit about that, about people getting in, because I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
People retiring and then suddenly they have that. People retiring and then they suddenly have that hardware. They open that hotel. They open that. All manner of things.
Yes.
I have a feeling that when you are, for example, in corporate, and for example, you are head of finance or you're head of logistics and now you want to start your own logistics company, or you're a banker and now you want to start a microfinance.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that when you are working in corporate, there are so many moving parts of that business that sometimes you are even blind to. So, for example, you might be a good logistician. You're the one looking for all the lorries in charge of the fleet, but you don't know who is paying the fleet managers. You don't know who is paying the drivers. You don't know. So, and then do you think that a lot of people are sort of blind as to how the whole business that they are coming from actually works? That is when they think they know how it runs, but they don't even know how it runs.
That is why I actually called it arrogance. You think you know, but you don't.
Yeah.
So your approach is, I can do this, but no, you can't. You can, but there are you need some support, some mentorship from other people who've gone ahead of you to show you how it is done. Because what you know is literally, let's say, like 20%. If you're in logistics and you're the logistics manager, the part of operations for logistics are just 20% of what the logistics business does. And so when you leave, because you are so good at that job, and I think this is also ignorance. You think when you come out, because you are so good at that, your services are good, you're smart, you have your papers, and you can back it up. You imagine now the business will come to you. That's not how it works. Yeah. So for me, it was a really humbling. It has been a very humbling experience, because I had to calm down properly and actually ask myself, what do I know, what don't I know? And what I didn't know is actually more than what I did know, because what I knew is really limited to the finance department. Listen, there's no accounting you're doing if you don't have any work. So my skill is actually useless at that point.
Let's go back to your story then. You were born Anne Muhia.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, what did you study, and how did you start your finance business? I mean, finance career.
Finance career.
And then you got into the businesses that.
So my father is an accountant. I was good at math. It made sense. You know how we picked our careers, right? From you look around and you see who is more successful and you pick that one. But my dad influenced me a lot. He's an accountant himself. He's a CPA, and so math was easy for me. Like, I don't struggle with numbers. Even we were looking at your analytics, and I'm able to pick a few things. So when I left high school, I went and did my CPAs first. So I was a CPAK like before I was 20. When the year I turned 20, I was a CPAK. And I got a job immediately after as an accountant. In this case, I was doing sort of like bookkeeping. So basic accounting. Interesting how I got that job. My friend told me the accountant got fired. There's an open position. And I asked her, can I come and ask if I can get the job? I try and dress up with my most official attire at the time. And I go and I ask, and I got the job. And so that first job was a Kayad. I was doing accounting for a Kayad. Then from there, I did that, I think, 2 years. Then I moved to a hospital, a chain of clinics and hospitals. And I moved in as a credit controller. So sort of like a different kind of role. So credit control is just basically make sure all money is collected and paid by your customers on time. Yeah. Customers being insurance companies. So I did that for a while. I was lucky because the company was also like growing. Because by the time I joined, they were at about 11 branches. By the time I left, 24. So there was a lot of growth, meaning there was a lot of opportunity for growth as well. So I grew to chief accountant. I think I worked there for 5 or 6 years. I think 5. And then during now, so at this point, I'm doing credit control. I became a management accountant and then a chief accountant. And then I left and I went to work for one of the Centum investment subsidiaries. The company was called King Beverage, and I was a head of finance there.
What were they doing?
They were selling beer, alcohol distribution. So then after, it's actually during that job, oh my God, that job was sweet.
What do you mean by that?
It was sweet. The pay was good. The perks were good. You got everything you wanted, basically. And I actually enjoyed the job as well. So it was really, really good. But it's at that point I experienced a horrible boss. In fact, I used to say, to tell the story like in a sad way, but it's probably the greatest gift I've ever received, being spat out at that point. Because I really tried to work with him, but the politics were not politicking. The office politics were just not working out for me. And so eventually I was just like, it was so mentally draining, such that all these parts of the job, it didn't matter. I wasn't happy. So I woke up one Monday morning and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I resigned.
I think that is a lesson for working with bosses. There are bosses that are directly not good to women, like they harass you sexually, or they whatever happens.
Yeah.
But then there are bosses that are just bad. They're bad to men. They're bad to women. Which one was it? I
don't think it was a men-women thing. It was just our personalities didn't clash, but he also clashed with so many other personalities. So I don't know. But at least for me, I can say it was just mentally exhausting. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I resigned. And then I was like, okay.
I wonder why it is not the bosses that actually resign when they can't work with juniors. Why is it that the juniors that usually resign?
Because you're a junior.
Yeah, but you could go.
The junior can't fire the boss, but the boss
you can. He's between you and another boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are between you and another boss.
Yes.
You can't go to the other boss and explain your situation, what's going on.
It's not going to make the relationship better.
He could be fired. They could be fired.
Usually, no. You're the one to go. The junior, it's less risk to the business. It's easier to replace a junior person than, a general manager, for example. Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is, when is this happening? Which year?
This is 2014, 2015. Let me say 2015, thereabout. Yeah.
You get into you quit and then...
So I leave and then I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I think probably the people who know me, the Anne you knew then is not the same one today. Because the growth I've experienced since to now has been just crazy. So I leave and I'm asking myself, okay, this job security thing, I thought my job was secure, but I don't think so. There's no security here. And I really wanted to do something I'm in control of, I'm in control of the outcome. And so I started asking myself, what do I have in hand? I go back to, I'm an accountant, right? So can I do bookkeeping and offer bookkeeping services to small companies that can afford a finance manager, for example? And I think I got 2 clients, and I hated it so much. It was exhausting for me. Like I did, if you look at my journey, I did bookkeeping for just my first 2 years, and I didn't do bookkeeping, for the rest of my employed career. And so it was frustrating for me, and I had to go back to the drawing board and ask myself again, okay, what else do I have in hand? Because now, if my papers cannot help me navigate this, what am I going to do? And I remembered in the places I had worked, I was sort of part of automation projects. So, like, for example, like the hospital, I think hospital management software solutions are the most complex, or rather more of the complex ones. And so I remember us trying to automate all the processes in a hospital. Think lab, nursing, inpatient, outpatient, all those small and bits and pieces. Then they need to speak to each other in a finance, like an enterprise resource planning platform. So I was heavily involved, and I remember the solution providers, I gave them hell because there are some things that weren't working, and I badly wanted them to work because it was making my work easier. I was doing it selfishly. I wanted to make my work easier. But I really gave them a lot of trouble. And I remember during my transition, when I was leaving the hospital to go to King Beverage, they called me and they're like, how much time do you have between this job and the next? And I think I had a month. And they asked me, could you come in and help us because we feel like you understand what is not working in our system. Come and help us. So I joined them. We sat for about 3 weeks. Every day, just looking at the workflows and making sure everything is speaking to each other. And yeah, they launched the product. They went ahead to make a lot of money, by the way, from that software. They sold it to so many hospitals in Africa, actually. So
after badgering them and making sure that this thing works?
You see, I was badging them when I was working for the company that bought the solution.
Yeah.
When they heard I left, they called me to help them because they felt I understood it better in terms of what is not working.
Okay.
So this is like a consultancy. So in between jobs, I had a consultancy gig. And then I forgot about it. I didn't think, oh, that's an opportunity for you. And no, I didn't think that. I just forgot about it and moved to my next employment. And so now, years later, I'm here thinking about what do I have in hand? And that comes to my mind. And I think that's where the software company sort of was born. Out of that thought. And I was like, okay, I think this is something I actually enjoy doing. Because now I wasn't sure, after this experience, it needed to be something I enjoy doing so that then I'm able to weather the storm. Yeah. If you don't enjoy it, it's like you, Jagero, with this podcast, if you did not enjoy doing it in the early days, you would not have been able to weather the storm. So yeah, that's how now I got into software and started my company now and started my entrepreneurship journey for real.
The one that you guys were doing for the hospital was completely harnessed and it was tried and tested.
Tested. It was already in use. It's just that it was not. It had some.
It was
some
buggy.
Gaps.
Yeah. Some gaps.
Gaps and bugs. Yes.
Yeah.
It had some gaps and bugs. So they were doing version 2 from scratch, but they also wanted to cover all those gaps. And because we had worked with them and I used to make a lot of noise on email, this thing is not working, this one is not working, they felt I understood their system from a user perspective.
Okay.
The person who's using.
I think that was very smart of that organization actually to bring you on board.
Yeah.
Because you are the debugger for the chief debugger. You are debugging the you charge cheap. But also you did know that you are actually the number one user for that product. Ali, we need this light off. Ali is not here.
Akona headphones amekusikia.
We need the lights off. You forgot to put them off. Uko ndani. Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, so from a user perspective, like knowing what I know now, I gave them so much value. In fact, in the software solution, they used to credit me when you go to like the credits of the software because I really, really helped them build it.
That was really nice. You didn't ask them to give you like investment.
No. Yeah, I was happy to be paid for the hours I spent.
But going back to that job, you'd ask for
millions
for percentage ownership.
No, I'd ask for money and move on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But still,
sometimes equity versus pay me now, it depends if you have
skin
in the game.
You also didn't know how it's going to turn out.
But now I didn't ask for the equity. I also didn't ask for enough money. I ought to have asked for more. But that's how you learn though.
Is it very difficult to run a hospital? Like, what are the moving parts of a hospital?
There are many moving parts.
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts. Think of it.
We come to triage and then we go to see the doctor and then we get dispensation at the pharmacy and then we go home.
You're queued.
You're
At
queued.
the queue, you're either queued cash or insurance. And if it's insurance, it needs approvals, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So all those things. So it's a workflow. You, the client, will not experience it, but the person who is now working on a system such as this one need to think of the entire workflow. When you get into a hospital, you go to triage. First, your details are confirmed, your insurance approves. Then you go, let's say, to triage, to the nurse, whatever. And now they have those computers where they put in their notes, so that then you can go to the doctor, and the doctor doesn't need to call the nurse. They're able to view what information the nurse put in. And let's say whatever when they look at you, they might send you to X-ray, to have an X-ray done, or a lab test, or both.
Okay.
Or a CT scan, an MRI. So all these things need to speak to each other, and they need to bill accordingly at every step.
Oh, the billing is also
Yes.
going with everything.
It's attached to the workflow.
Oh, okay.
It has to be attached to the workflow.
So once you've gone to triage, the triage bills.
Triage is usually, I think, free. It's not a chargeable service. It's just something they're doing for the doctor so that the queue can move along, I think, faster.
Yeah,
But
it is part of the consultation.
It's part of the consultation. Yes, it's part of the consultation. But think of it this way: if you go in and you're cash, there's a path for cash.
Okay.
Which is not the same as the path
For
if you're
insurance.
insured. Because for cash, you need to pay now consultation, right? Then you go see the nurse. You go to the doctor. If they send you to the lab, you need to pay first before the lab executes the service. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah,
so
that is the cash
route.
workflow.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're doing the insurance workflow, then the workflow, as long as they have the approval at the beginning, then everything else sort of like moves. You don't need if the doctor sends you to the lab, you just go to the lab. Yeah. So it's different workflows, and there are so many tiny workflows. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this.
Yeah.
If a client is like this, do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll
So
go
logic.
for outpatient. Yes, logic. Sometimes you'll go for outpatient, and then you end up being admitted. If.
But I imagine that if you're building, sorry, this discussion is so sweet. Like
you're enjoying it.
Imagine if you're getting stuck, then the nurse, the doctor would tell you that this is not working. What's going on here? And then you write that report and send it back to the software company, saying that there is a logic here. There is something that we did not anticipate.
It could be something really small, but it can cause chaos.
Yeah.
It can be small, but it can cause chaos. Chaos even with clients, because sometimes, let's say you have an inpatient, and every time a nurse visits, they use a pair of gloves.
Okay.
Right? So every time the patient is visited by the nurse, a pair of gloves is billed, because you're an inpatient and there are some consumables.
Yeah.
Now imagine how that works. Every time a nurse shows up, they need to put on a pair of gloves, and you don't want to bill 100 gloves at the end, and the patient knows you only visited them 3 times. You'll get in trouble. So they have to speak to, all those things have to speak to each other. So it was like complex, I would say. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoy process automation. I enjoy workflows. I enjoy trying to figure out solutions from a user perspective. Remember, I'm an accountant.
Yeah.
I'm not a techie. So I can't code, but I know what the user expects.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You know what
So
the problem that is going on, you can clearly pick it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you get into the software business.
So I get into the software business, and I had beginner's luck.
Okay. Beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck.
What is a beginner's luck?
Beginner's luck is when you start something and good things immediately happen.
Okay.
Beginner's luck.
Out of the box.
What do you mean?
Out of the box, like you start this and it starts.
Yeah, and the world just embraces you, and you feel so good that you're like, I'm in the right place. This is the thing I was born to do. So I got my first client in about 3 months, maybe less.
Okay.
Of starting the putting together this software company. First, I got the partnership. I got a partnership with one of the top 3 biggest software companies in the world.
Okay.
Which is not usually easy to get. And after that, I got my first client. I think we had not even finished signing the paperwork when the client came in. So we do the implementation. It goes well. I got people, a team to work with, a team of consultants to work on that project. It's a success. We launch it. The client is happy. And I remember him paying to my account. He paid money to my account. Like, there's a quote I gave him, and then there's the deposit he paid, which my account had never seen that many zeros. Jagero, I couldn't eat for like a week. I used to feel like I have a knot in my stomach. And I'm like, does he know this is my first rodeo? I don't know.
Wait, who paid you? The client or the
the client, the contract, my first contract.
The owner of the software?
No. A paying client.
Okay. But the software wasn't yours?
No. I was a reseller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you were supposed to pay.
I was a partner to one of the biggest software companies.
Oh, so then after doing the implementation, then you'll give them their money.
You pay them for the license. So how reselling works is you get the software from them on, let's say, whatever percentage. They'll give you a discount because you're a partner, and then you charge your implementation. So I get the deposit, and I can't. I was so worried. I was like, if this thing goes south, this is a lot of money. I can't afford lawyers, you know.
Yeah.
But it goes on well, and I remember going, project done, client happy, everyone is good.
Can I ask you a question then? I think that most of your worries were supposed to be the worries of the owners of the software. Why were you so worried?
Because the success of any software is not just in the software itself.
Okay.
There are many moving parts. So success of such a project is dependent on the solution itself. Is it actually good? Does it do the thing it's supposed to do? Number two, the implementer of that project, the solution provider, because the license, yes, is a tool, but it needs to be implemented and customized depending on which
customization,
you're serving, so that then it can meet their needs. Then it's also dependent on the client on the other end, because if it's like a 50-50, it's like a marriage. If any one of you doesn't pull their weight, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You understand? So there are many moving parts. There's a lot that could go wrong. But it was successful. And I think I got my aha moment, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to make so much money.
There was no support services attached?
There were, yeah. There's always support services attached.
So then this was a client that was in the bag for some time.
Yeah, for some time. But the real money is in the new projects, not really
support.
In the support. Yeah. So now I'm excited. I'm like, what? I think I cracked the code. You know?
Oh yeah?
It's because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking about it. You can see just how I'm lighting up right now talking about it. And I can actually deliver, because this was just confirmation. It gave me some confidence. And I met my friend the other day, and we were talking about it. In fact, it was on my live, on my TikTok live. I do a TikTok live every Friday at 8:30. I love them.
I wonder there is a video doing a lot of circulation that you're doing with Elvis. What sort of video is this? Was it an interview? Was it a live?
Elvis is teaching me quite a bit, by the way. So I was meeting him for work. Like it wasn't an interview. It was just, let's meet, you show me this, I show you this. We were exchanging knowledge.
Online?
No, physically.
And then you brought cameras.
So he had those DJI cameras.
Oh, the Pocket 3?
Yes.
Okay.
And Agasha has got me one like a year ago that I've not.
Which one?
That it's like a long, small, tiny camera.
Ah.
Yeah. I think
you saw it during the event?
That one.
You saw it during...
I've had it for so long. I don't know.
And you don't use it?
I've never. I don't. Yeah, exactly. I'm letting him down.
No, you see, there is no way you can use your phone when you have Pocket.
Yeah.
There's no way. Is it the one that you're using, or it was Elvis that was using, or both of you?
Elvis had one. Me now I was like, I need to go home and figure this thing out, because he literally put it, and it's not intimidating. It's so tiny.
It is so tiny.
He was just like, I want to show you how you can shoot edit with AI and script it. Like get the script of the conversation.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjigero.co.ke. And now, back to programming. But I can also see you being in the video. I can also see you in the video.
Well, he set it up, and I'm in the view. Yeah.
Okay.
I need more Gen Z friends. If you're a Gen Z, please reach out. Please reach out.
You know me, I am not Gen Z, but I really read a lot about these things.
They're teaching me.
I really read a lot about these things.
Yeah.
Like every other thing that comes out, I am there. Like right now, I don't go to my calendar. I have connected it to Claude AI. So I just ask, what meetings do I have today? It goes to my calendar and checks and tells me. I just chat with it.
Yeah.
Tell me what the meeting I'm having today.
Yep.
It goes to my
Automation
calendar.
is amazing.
It's amazing. Anyway, what were we? You were having a time of your life.
Yes.
With the new automation company.
So now I no longer have a knot in my stomach. I am feeling... I found a way, and I actually love doing this. So let's go. And I was just like, we need an office. And because our clients are, these are the clients, high or rather medium enterprises. I want them, when they come to our office, they can see that we got a proper setup.
Yeah.
So I need also a team, right? Now I've completely switched to employee at this point. I don't know it yet.
Yeah.
In fact, now I was going to tell you on my live, we were discussing that experience. And my friend during the live said, you know what you did, Anne? You turned a gig into a business.
You turned a gig into business.
You ought to have done several gigs before now you confirm that invalidate.
Do you think, and this is a question, the question I want to ask you. There are actually people who set up a whole office before they get even one client. Is it a good idea?
Bad idea. Bad idea. You want to test your concept with the least amount of money possible. The least. So if you can do it without an office, unless if, let's say, you're offering massage services, But even then, you can do. I can come to your house to offer you a massage. There are ways to do it, but try and test out your concept.
It has been established that it's a bad idea to go to people's houses to do massage. Masseuse are in agreement. It does not end well.
Okay, that's not a good example, but you get what I mean.
Yes. Because Jana Amelia said, no, it's not working. Anyway, go ahead.
But you get what I mean. So I set up an office. It was on Riara Road, by the way.
Oh, Riara Road?
Yes.
Apartment?
No, office with 2 parkings. What are you saying?
Oh, could it be that Riara Road office that I know, the Riara offices?
The green one with green tiles around it.
Yes.
That was my address. It had a coffee shop down there, so
and then you had very, very nice embossed business cards.
Let me say yes, all of that. We did all of that, even the door branding. We don't want you to get lost when you're coming to see us.
Okay.
Got furniture. I think I went to odds and ends. That one.
Wow.
I did interviews. I was like, I don't think I can do sales. Sales is not fun. Plus, it's also not. Remember, I'm an accountant. I've never sold anything. So I would. Why struggle when you can hire, right? Because that's what I'm used to. When you're employed, when you have a gap, what do?
You hire.
Huh? What do you think happened?
I think that them bills started piling.
So
and there was no money.
So there was money. Remember, I made money, right?
Yeah.
So I paid salaries. I could not even guide this salesperson because I myself, I don't know how to sell this thing.
Okay.
I've only sold one. Maybe luck. I don't know if it's skill. At this point, I don't know. I can't tell. But I can't even guide them. I can't give them standard operating procedures because even I myself, I don't know how it's done. But you see, that's not how we used to do it in employment. In employment, if you're hired as a salesperson, you know your thing. You come, you plug, and you go with it. You run with it, right?
But this ones you hired?
It's different. So nothing happened.
They didn't know how to sell or what?
I don't even know. I can't even tell you what happened because I would be like reports. They'll say, I visited. These are the conversations, and the conversations were never ending. And I am telling you, we did not close another single deal for another year.
No.
Yes.
You are burning fuel
every month.
That's.
When did you? I told everybody I have a new office.
When did you start having a bad feeling? Which month did you start having a bad feeling that there is a storm brewing?
My last quarter, like the last money I had for my last quarter. Now you know. Let me tell you what's happening.
Okay.
I've left employment. This is how much I'm earning, right?
Okay.
So I have this thing. I think people are watching and seeing what I do, and I have this. I'm quick to try and impress them. These imaginary people in my head.
Okay.
So obviously when we were doing
that sounds that's like. I'm trying to imagine that. It's not making sense. Why you?
Now, this is funny. I don't know what it is, but now this after setting up the office, when I'm getting the furniture, I'm telling my friends, and then they are coming by to visit me. Oh my God, Anne, you're doing so well. And so there's this picture of me that is out there. Yeah. But I'm really struggling because there's what is out there, and then there's the iceberg underneath. And I'm struggling, and I don't know what is wrong. Because
Are you going out and selling for yourself?
Yes. But not as much because I have a salesperson.
I want to ask about sales because I have had my fingers burned before by the so-called salespeople. Even in our last event, I was meant to have a salesperson.
Oh, really?
To sell,
the one we did the other day?
Yes, to sell the tickets. But I have had my fingers burned before several times.
Why couldn't you sell it here on this platform, though?
I did, but I needed somebody now to do more and guide the whole sales.
I didn't see it at all.
Where did you? You did not see it because I reverted to the way I've always done events. I reverted to the way I was like moving in the dark.
Dude, people pay you to come and advertise.
Yes,
yeah, on this platform.
I'm telling you that when I was doing this event, this whole period has been very dark for me because my sister has been suffering a lot with cancer. And so I've not had so I have not had the opportunity to be out there and do this thing properly. So
sorry about that.
I went to somebody to help me with the event, and the money they were charging me, I said, so what I wanted them to do is to sell the tickets and get a percentage on commission, and then just give them a very tiny retainer. But they refused and said that they need payment and then sell the tickets. And I cringed, shrunk, and said, if you want payment in advance, I don't think you're the person that is going to sell the tickets. So I did not go ahead with that. Okay? And also I was struggling with the cash because we are basically doing chemo without any insurance right now.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
So now I reverted to me selling the events the way I used to sell events, Kitambo.
How did you used to sell events?
Calling people and telling people about it, like going through your entire phone.
I see.
And getting people and telling them that I have this event.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
There's a book you must read.
What is it called?
It's called .com Secrets.
.com Secrets.
By Russell Brunson.
Yes. So now...
Make sure you read it.
Yes, I'm going to read it. But also, Anne, let me tell you something. I am very aware of how to sell online. I did not have the capacity mentally
I see.
to sell
I
it.
understand.
Yeah.
That's the thing about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
The business doesn't care what you're going through.
Yes, it does not care.
It doesn't care.
So
it's not gonna be easy on you.
I went to the old book and sold the event.
It was so last
yeah,
by the way.
sold the event.
Such a nice event.
So now there is a time I was doing an event in South Africa. My worst experience was South Africa. I was doing CMS Africa Summit, a very huge event. There were lots of people coming from abroad. I had a sponsor that had given me 3 million Kenya shillings to do that event. Yeah. And then there was another one that I think had given like $12,000, 1 point something million. And so I had somebody in South Africa to do this event and get ticket sales. We arrived there because I do not trust very much. And I like in my life, I do not leave everything to somebody.
Really?
No.
Now I don't. Then I used to be like, we are so used to delegating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went there, and 1 month to the event, there was no single sale of ticket. 3 weeks to the event, there was no single ticket sold. I am really... Those guys that gave us the money were coming like a team of 12 for this event.
What happened?
I called a guy who was doing events in Cape Town, and I told him, I don't want you to organize this event. I want you to tell me how to get people to come to this event.
Yes.
And he told me that what you guys coming from outside South Africa do not understand, especially your event that is tech event, techies in South Africa are not on Instagram. They are not on Facebook.
Where are they?
They are not even on LinkedIn.
Where are they?
They are on meetings.com.
Really?
Yes. And in meetings.com, there are thousands of them there. So what I'm going to give you, my fellow Mr. Kenyan, that I'm going to give you all the heads of these meetups. And he gave me 10 numbers to call. I called all of them. They told 3 were having an event that week. So we hired a car and shuttled to those 3 events. And they gave us an opportunity to talk to us about that event. We had a full house.
No way.
We had a full house.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a full house.
Impressive.
We had a full house. It was so beautiful. Anyway, I don't want to take the story. So, yeah.
Ignorance and arrogance. Can you see it?
Yeah.
I'm ignorant and I'm also arrogant at the same time. I think I know what I'm doing, but I have no clue. So anyway, I get to a point now I can't do this anymore. In fact, I had to go sit with my landlord and tell them, now, can I sit on the deposit and then, as I figure my exit? Because, this is the end for me.
That must have been really crushing.
They were really nice. So they allowed me, and I let go of my team. And I remember now, the painful part was dismantling the furniture.
Why were you dismantling it?
Because I need to move. I need to move out of the office.
You just carry them.
No, the furniture, you can't carry it whole. You have to unscrew it.
So the large bench.
Yes, so that you're able to pack it up. I had a 4-way. I had many things.
Whew.
So they're dismantling. I'm looking around and feeling like a total failure.
In your first year of doing business,
that hurt me.
Can I ask you something? I want to ask you a question on that. I have gone to malls. I visit mostly Junction.
Yeah.
I visit Lavington Mall mostly. I visit Prestige. There is a mall there. Java. What is it called? The one in Hurlingham next to you is called
the mall.
Yes, there's a mall up Karibuna. Yes,
yes. I see it.
Yes,
where there is Quick Mart.
And every time I go there's a vacancy. The beautiful, nice office that was there with beautiful furniture, everything is scraped. Mpaka sakafu is scraped.
There's a shop next door to the studio. Maybe like 4 shops to the right of us. And the studio has been there for 7 years, thereabout. That space has had maybe 5 tenants during that period of time.
The studio is always standing.
Yes, that's what is always standing. But that particular space, even there are a couple of businesses that have stood the test of time on that street. But that space, it's been a restaurant called Sujuki Kao. Then it's been another restaurant that is targeting
that sold goodwill.
Muslims.
That sold goodwill.
I don't even know how they do it, but it has changed hands 5 times. So you see my experience. I was shy to share it because I want to be seen as successful. Yeah. Not the failure. But every time I would experience any one of these experiences, like now having to funga your office and dismantle furniture, and now you're wondering, where do I store it? I would be so broken, and I would wonder, is it me? Is it a me problem, or are other people going through this?
I guess there are lots of people who are going through that, and I want to pick your mind on that. What fundamentally what happens?
So let me finish my story. You'll see bits and pieces. So first is you can see the arrogance in thinking I can do it because I have done it, and I'm coming from a managerial position. It's the same thought process when a retiree leaves a certain leaves corporate. A high-flying job, and they start their own business, and let's say it's a matatu, and they're thinking, it's a matatu business. I ran brands in East Africa or Africa. I mean, what is a matatu?
Shuttling between Gong and town. I mean, what can go wrong? Can possibly go wrong? Is it the conductor? I will macro-manage him.
So much can go wrong. So much. And wrong, in a catastrophic way. Yeah, so now, anyway, I dismantle, I cry a bit. I couldn't even afford, a proper whatever to carry the stuff. I sent the stuff to my mom's house. I went on Gong Road, found the shadiest-looking pickup to come and load my stuff. And I'm sure guys at the office were like, Imetoka wapi?
They were not gone already.
So anyway, so we pack up the stuff and I'm like, it's okay. I pick one of the desks and I take it to my other bedroom. I had a 2-bedroom house. And I decide that's now going to be my office. And
the business is not failing. You are still going.
I'm still going. I didn't stop, by the way.
Yeah.
I was just like, we need to rethink this thing. That business has failed and gotten up and failed so many times. So anyway, I take the furniture out and I remember waking up after like 3 days of mourning of, oh my God, I failed. After 3 days, not even 3 days, I think it was like a couple of weeks to end month. I didn't have bills. I didn't have salaries to think about. I remember I used to get so anxious every end of the month because I have so many bills and money's not coming in. But this month, I did not have any pressure.
Did you remain with any little money in the account?
None.
Shit.
None. It was gone. Because you see, the first deal came in so easy. It's like gambling.
Surely you never gamble.
But you understand.
But the sheer amount of it.
The day you try and you win,
yeah,
you're always anticipating, you're gonna win. So the whole entire time I knew I was gonna. And there's a client I got in between who never paid me. So there's some experiences that, I can't tell the whole story, but
yeah,
there's things that are happening. It's not like we were just seated waiting. There are things that were happening, conversations that were happening, people who I thought would come and partner and we go into a project together, then they end up taking your client. So much happened in that year.
Yeah.
But the long and short of it, money, I did not close sale. So anyway, I go to my other bedroom now. I used to wake up, shower, dress up, walk to the next door and report to work.
I hate it. I hate, and that's why I hate working from home. I really.
Yeah.
I do not like working from home.
I don't think I had a choice. What choice did I have?
Well, I understand you that you did not have a choice, but for me, I would like to go out of the house, and just see the road or something. Yeah.
So anyway, this whole process. Remember, I used to work for an alcohol distribution company. I was a user, right? Of solutions, and the one solution I needed the most, and Jagger, I think this is probably, and I'm saying it fast here. This is probably the one that hurt the most.
Okay.
Of all the things I failed at, this one hurt the most. So that first failure is a lesson on ignorance and arrogance. The second one is about mentorship.
Okay.
So I used to work in an alcohol distribution company, and I am the head of finance. I need visibility of where my inventory is because it's a new product. Mara, it's consignment, umeachia bar X. Umenda hotel fulani wamekwambia wacha tutakulipa tukiuza. So your bottles of alcohol are scattered across the country and you're not able to have visibility of what is where.
Yeah.
Right? And we were doing manually, which I was just like, no, this is not working. So remember automation? So I sit with my our IT department and I'm like, this thing is not that difficult to build in my head.
Okay.
Because I'm comparing it to the hospital and I'm like, it can't be that difficult. So can we sit, we do a blueprint and try and get someone to build it for us. We need it. But I leave before it's actualized. So fast forward. Uku, as I'm trying to make things work, before now calling it quits, I meet a couple of other clients who are looking for the same solution. Some were distributing diapers, others were still distributing alcohol, and I could understand the problem so well because I lived that problem. So I link up with a software developer.
Okay.
We look at the thing, we map it out, and he builds it. He codes it. We test it kidogo. I'm like, it looks like it's working. Let's go to market, because how else are we going to test it if it's not out there? So we take it to the market. And at the time, people were really looking for a solution like that one. So it used to be an app that you give to salespeople, and they move around with it, collecting data, visiting your customers, etc. Think of a company like Unilever,
okay,
for example. They have distributors, wholesalers, stockists, and those are the guys who sell to the retailers. They need visibility of how their product is moving down their value chain.
How it is moving or how it's selling?
Both.
Okay.
So there'll be visibility. Sometimes they're tracking visibility. Sometimes they're doing merchandising. Sometimes they're taking orders to make sure that all those people are well stocked. So that when you go to that kiosk, you find their product. You understand?
Yeah.
So it used to do all of that. We sell it to a couple of really big manufacturers in this country.
Really?
Yes. And we were charging like per user, about $30 per user. I loved that product. We used to call it Cube Mobile. Those maybe who
Cube
know.
Mobile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in a cube. Yeah. So we took it to the market. It was well received. We were close to getting to about 200 users.
Per month?
Per month.
That's a lot of money per month.
And the billing was quarterly in advance. Now, this one was so painful.
What happened? Kwani ndovu ilikanyaga hiyo cube? Nashanga. What can happen?
So the thing is, this is where we started, and when you're building such a solution, you need to keep listening to the customer's needs and then keep updating. And
the way that hospital guy was listening to you.
Yes, exactly like that. So I've never been in a business partnership, so I can say I also didn't know how to structure the partnership. And also, he wasn't very focused. He got a job at Safaricom, very well paying.
Yeah.
Me, I don't have money. I've run out of money. I've just run out of money with this office thing. So I don't have money to give him, but we are making progress. So by the time we were calling it quits at 200, he had already gotten that job. And so I kept disappointing my customers because they need this, they need this support. I need him because I can't code. I'm not a technical, I don't have the
And he's not available. He's working at Safaricom.
He's not available. So sometimes it'll take 2 weeks to fix just a small thing. And it frustrated me. It frustrated my clients. It frustrated me frustrating my clients. Did
you not get another software developer? Or he hogged it?
Yeah. I tried getting another one, and I'm like, okay, transfer the knowledge because you don't have the time. Basically, it was a lot of ignorance when it comes to how do you build a tech company. I had never done it before.
Shit.
If I knew Jagero, the things I know today, I should have called someone.
He was the one having the entire code base. In fact, what we had done,
there's that. So, man, you can see.
Yeah, I can see this. Do you feel like you were sabotaged by the Safaricom worker?
I don't think it's a sabotage. It's just.
But surely he was supposed to.
So,
he was supposed to see.
He's a good man. It's just that both of us. None of us could lead each other. We all have blinders. We don't know what we are doing. We are just trying this thing, And if I could do it different, I would seek mentorship. That product could have been, like the way you apply for grants, easily. Because you see, we already have proof of concept.
It's working.
It's working.
200 people using it. I think you should restart, reinstate.
Now let me tell you what the part that hurts the most.
Okay.
So this day we go for a presentation to Kericho.
Okay.
We are selling this software. We meet him, we wake up mapema, we drive to Kericho. The two companies that were presenting were us and Company X. Company X was the second runners-up at Africa Business Heroes last month. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Let that sink in. I saw him and I was like, oh my God. So anyway, long and short of it, when you start something, remain teachable. In fact, think like you're a fool, like you don't know, like absolutely you do not know, and ask. You remember I came and asked you about the YouTube before I ever recorded?
Yeah.
Yes, and you're not the only one I asked. I asked many people because I've gotten banned so many times because of thinking I can figure it out, whereas I don't need to go through the pain, the time, the energy, you can imagine all those frustrations coming at you all the time. You know, why go through that when you can make Jagero your friend, and Jagero will tell you, do this, do that, step here, step there. Sure, you'll make mistakes, but they won't be so catastrophic.
Why did you kill Cube anyways? Because I haven't seen why.
To code. I tried to build it myself. I couldn't. I tried to. You see, the thing
tried
is,
to code.
Yes, I tried to learn how to code. I was so desperate. It was such a super product.
Because my problem with the whole situation is the guy at Softcom built it and it was working. So I think it was just minute tweaking here and there that could be done at night. He could put aside 2 hours in a week and he will be taking away most of your problem.
Yeah, it could have been.
So you both agreed that it is time to kill this thing?
I just got to a point I was like, the clients don't call you, they call me. You're going to have to make a decision. Do you want this or do you not want this?
What did he say?
I didn't say anything. At some point, I was just like, this feels like those marriages. You just pull the plug and you just like...
And the source code, who had the source code?
He still had it.
He never gave it to you?
It's still in my brain though. So if you're a developer and you can do this thing for me, the solution is still...
Is there a solution in the market?
That's what I'm telling
you. Maybe we could do it.
That gentleman who won second runners-up at Africa Business Heroes, the Alibaba thing.
Yes.
Do you watch it?
Alibaba?
Not Alibaba. What am I saying? Jack Ma.
Yeah, I hear about
Jack Ma. I'm relating it to Jack Ma Alibaba. That's why. Sorry. So Jack Ma is providing funding for business owners. So the guy we used to go head-to-head with was second runners-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got, I don't know how many $1 million.
I think you can still start Cube. You completely...
Yeah.
Do you still talk with the gentleman at Safcom?
Yeah. There's no bad blood. I feel like we were just both naive.
Kwani alitupa?
I'm sure Iko. Yeah, I speak to him.
Yeah, you could try.
I failed him and he also failed me. Do you understand? Because we were both naive.
I think that software can pivot into other areas of life right now.
Yeah,
I think so. You should. Yeah, I know. It's like those wounds are going to come out afresh.
So I really advocate for mentorship. So that was that.
Why are mentors so important in business?
They help you see better. They help you with clarity. Because listen, as we are building this app, I'm trying to sell this product that no one is buying. I'm trying to manage a team, and all this is my first time. Like, I've never done any of this before. Limited resources, limited knowledge, limited foresight, limited everything. And so a mentor helps you see.
Okay, I understand. You were working from your second bedroom, trying to look for clients.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go for meetings. Oh, it turns out, actually, the entire time we had that office, no client ever came. When you sell software, clients don't come to you. You go to them because you need to go up, present, and you're presenting to a bunch of them. Yeah. So turns out I actually did not need that. Sometimes I tell this story and I'm like, that was so dumb.
But do you think, how many employees were you having? 2. Okay, and then so perhaps you could have been in a co-working space.
No need.
A co-working space.
No need.
No need. Everybody should have been working.
Thank God for COVID, because now COVID, that was like pre-COVID. After COVID, then, anyone can work from anywhere. You don't need it. Yeah.
Okay.
You see now, the thing now that whole experience taught me is that anytime you're about to invest in something, make sure it's not an ego-driven decision. It's not for you to feel good about the thing that you're doing. Make sure it's the business that needs the thing you're about to invest in.
Okay.
That whole office thing, that was all ego, all of it.
All of it was ego?
All of it. It was ego-driven. It was not business-driven. I got a client, I did my project, it was successful without it. So
Without it.
yes. Hiring was an ego decision. It was for me to say, do this for me, or go there and sell this. But I ought to have done it myself first, several times, not just once, before now saying, Jagero, you can come and this is your role. What am I handing over to this person that I'm hiring? You understand? And now these are conversations you don't ever hear in class. And I've done BCom. I've done my CPA, my degrees in BCom, and this was new. You understand? Right?
How kwa ground vitu ni
tofauti. Vitu ni tofauti. Because employment, you hire. Entrepreneurship, you first do. You first do. And now most of my friends were employed, right? Because I've been in employment the whole time. So most of my friends can't even help me, think through this whole process. If I had met you and you hear me, telling you these stories, you'd have been like, Anna cha ujinga. You understand? You can see the ujinga. But then when I go to my other employed friends and we discuss it, they're like, yeah, they're agreeing. Because that's... Get a mentor who's traveled that journey before. Not just anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is so different between what we are taught in school and what we find out here as entrepreneurs?
I think in school, I remember debits and credits. It's more accounting than building a business.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more accounting, not building.
One of the things that a lot of people usually ask me about my journey as a business person is that, Jakero, you don't get tired? Because me, I'm tired of this thing. I just want to go home and look for another job. Let
me tell you a story. I have a friend of mine called Lucy.
Okay.
I met Lucy. She used to run a company that used to do recruitment for us while I was employed.
Okay.
Every maybe year and a half, I call Lucy. I'm like, Lucy, I can't do this anymore. Please find me a job. And she's like, what's happening? So I tell her, no. She's like, okay, don't worry. Do this. Could you polish up your CV, send it to me? I'm sure I can find something. And somehow when I go, I sit and look at that CV, I'm like, no. Let's try again. Let's try again.
Yeah.
So some of the mistakes I've made sound very dumb. From someone outside looking in, they sound really dumb. But you wait until you're inside the game.
Yeah.
Now that's when you know.
That's what, and even in terms of podcasting, a lot of people have tried, like the gentleman that I just came here.
Yeah.
He started his podcast. He was pitching people from LinkedIn. He was telling me the story of his failure when we were having the event because he was the one doing for me photos. He was the one doing for me photos. And he said, Jagero, when I was out looking at you, like just bring guests, you do the thing. Yeah. After 2 days, it is up. There were viewers. You get another day. I come to the office. There is another interview. I thought it was so easy.
You see, now I've come to learn, and I feel that I talk about it. I talk about my failures on my channel and Prepared to Entrepreneur. So we might not cover everything today, but find all those stories there. But I think when you're outside looking in, it looks very, very simple. But when you're in it and you don't have support, it can be very dark. There are people who don't have that resilience. You fail and then you try again. There are people who, when they fail, they remain down. So also entrepreneurship, don't be lied to get into it. Leave employment because, be your own boss. It's not for everyone. There are some people who just don't have that thing.
I feel like if you're employed, you should do a gig before you jump out completely.
Many gigs.
Try
and don't turn your gig into a business.
I think many people are not getting it properly. What is turning your gig into a business? I want to add you some coffee. Bring you in a cup.
Yeah, because I have that cold thing.
Yeah. Do you want the milk?
No. The Jagero is giving me a Marula milk. Have you guys ever heard of a Marula milk? What is that?
Is it still hot?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. No, I'm okay. I'll drink it without sugar. Yeah. So what were we saying?
Yes, I wanted you to explain the idea of don't turn your gig into a business.
Don't turn your first gig.
Okay.
Into a business. I think I should rectify there. So every business goes through several phases. There's ideation, then there's qualifying the idea, and then there's proof of concept. Proof of concept is where now you take the first gig, the second, the third, and every time you look at, like you sit back and analyze what happened at the first one. How can I improve this and give it like better results, maybe better customer satisfaction? How much more value can I add onto it to make the second one even better to the customer, right? Because you're trying to get as many customers as possible. The more value, the better for you. So try the second and then keep iterating and pivoting and improving until now where you get to the point where now the gigs are coming in, faster than they used to. You'll start with one every 3 months, then one every other month, then one every month. And then now, at that point, the gig will demand that you turn this into a business.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You sort of now realize that the job you're having is take much of your time that is needed by this gig.
Yes. So you'll start becoming inefficient, slacking, some things are falling through the cracks. Now you need an assistant or you need someone to take up a certain task. The business will tell you what it needs. Period. The rest is ego. The rest is ego. Think about it. Right?
And the money, how do you, I think also a lot of people, you found your money, you had a knot in your stomach because of the zeros in your account, and then would you say that you started splashing it around?
I did not.
No, into the business, like getting the office, paying the guys that you were paying.
I had a budget next to my ego. Packed right next to my ego.
Yeah.
With a budget. Because I think if I didn't have the budget, I probably would not have done it. So that was a very, very, very expensive lesson. So there are many of those failures that I've gone through. I try to share them on my pages. And first I thought nobody is interested in this conversation. I mean, we are not talking about who is sleeping with who. No,
I think that it is one of the most important conversations that a lot of us. My sister told me that. He calls me Ken because that is how they know me. Told me, Ken, I can't do business. I can't. Like
there are those people who just
can't do business.
And it's okay. Imagine, it's okay. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
They can learn.
Yeah.
They cannot learn.
It takes a certain personality. Let me see.
To do business.
Yeah, you need to be those guys who fail, cry a day, two, then get up. Get yourself up and try again. Because that resilience, it's almost like the ones who survive those falls are the ones who survive those falls long enough are the ones who make it. But then don't just fall and then get up and make the same mistake. You must learn from the mistake that you made. And it's okay. And sometimes those mistakes will feel like you are stupid. And you, like, how could you not see this? And you'll go and sit with Jagero and you'll be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Who does even that? And then now you'll start feeling like, yeah, I'm dumb. No. Pick yourself up.
There's the other thing, Anne, whereby you feel like I never failed, but somebody let me down. Where do you apportion that failure?
If there are two people trying to come together to work, it's like marriage. There's no marriage that fails because of one person. Everybody has a contribution.
You have never been at a place where you feel like I have been let down by the person that was pulling their weight?
But also my contribution is myself choosing to be in that space. How did I not see this? That's also a contribution, right?
How did I not see that this person was going to fail me?
Yeah. So there's always there's always something you've contributed to for you to be where you are. And the more accountable you are, the better this will start to get. But if you fail and you point fingers at someone else, then that means you're not learning from your failures. So you're doing mistakes that you're not ready to rectify. Yeah. Jagero might let me down, but then what part did I play in it? Why was I in business with Jagero to begin with? There's always a part you're playing. So I feel like if you're accountable every time, every day, actually, call yourself for a small meeting every day. How are we doing? What is this thing we're doing?
I think that is the other day we had a big fight with one of my friends. They were trying to tell me what they're seeing wrong, and I was really deflecting.
What they're seeing wrong?
What is happening there is a business, there is something that I was doing, and I was ranting to her about how I have been let down.
Yeah.
And she was telling me, no, Jagera, I think there are things that you can do better. And I kept saying, no, I have given this to this to this. Nobody, I mean, maybe I don't know those people. You're the only one I'm seeing. So I just think that you need to sit down, think through it. You are now shouting, and I don't know why you're shouting.
So when you sat down and thought about it,
you have just woken up. I'm just telling you because you call me and you're ranting.
Once you thought about it, then
I took her advice, and things aligned after that.
Right? Because listen, you the only thing you're in control of is you, not others.
Yeah.
And if you can't consistently improve you and remain accountable to the decisions and the places you find yourself in, then you are not growing. And if you are not growing, your business will not grow. You know that? Like your business growth to the capacity of your own personal growth.
Yeah.
There's no way your business will outgrow the person leading it.
I understand.
Yeah. So that accountability and calling yourself for a meeting and calling yourself out, you know, I did this and that was stupid. Don't do that again, man. Yeah. But then sometimes you're like, how many beatings? I don't know how many of these lives I have left.
There is a story that you don't want to talk about yet.
Which one?
The one that you told me the other day, and because it is very important.
Which one is that?
The maca business.
I can take it in a choma.
Because anyway, you don't want you don't want.
I'll come back. We'll talk about.
Okay, but because there is a question attached to it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to discuss working with a partner.
Partners are fantastic. Having someone you're journeying with, it's amazing. Amazing. Because I've been alone and I've had a partner. It's really, really good. Because you get to exchange ideas. When things are really, really tough, you find that usually one person is holding it down. And then the next time this other person is sort of like holding it down. Are we good?
Yeah.
And the thing with business, you will hit some rough patches often. And when you're together, those are two brains coming together to try and solve a problem. They have a common goal, common interest, and they are just applying themselves. So it's fantastic. I totally enjoy having a partner. It's now making it sustainable. In fact, I'm looking for someone who actually knows how to set up partnerships that are actually sustainable.
Yeah.
Like live through the to see the dream come true.
Yeah, right now we are in a partnership on a podcast called Political Headache. You know, with the gentleman and the lady.
I came here. You told me do not partner on a podcast.
Okay. I told you that, but then I really did my due diligence because I felt like I really wanted to talk about the politics of this country, and it was going to be very difficult to do it alone. I did a lot of searching, and finally, I think those guys are back. We need to wrap up, right? Yeah. So
how are you enjoying that partnership versus doing this alone?
The other one is really doing well because the lead is really pulling her weight. Like she would come here and organize a shoot by herself, bring a guest, shoot by herself, follow up with the editors and say, I want the work, where is it, blah, blah, blah. She's really good at what she really wants it. And I think that is what good partnership is.
Even like when you're exchanging ideas, which topics to discuss, what are the elements of it, it's easier because you have someone you're exchanging and bouncing ideas off of. When you're alone, it's you and yourself. Yeah.
So I am enjoying it. I hope that's gonna be.
I hope so too.
And I think having a partner is. There's one question I want to ask you.
Okay.
And it's a bit personal. It's about marriage and working with a spouse who's also doing business. I know your spouse is doing business. Yes. He's running a production house, and he's also running an interior design. Is that what he calls it?
Construction.
Yeah. What you think he's a good business person? Do you learn a lot from him?
We learn a lot from each other because I think different industries bring in different experiences, different knowledge. But I feel like entrepreneurship is a journey. There's no destination. Ati sasa umefika. No, new levels, new devils. Once you get that placard for 100K, Jagero.
When is it coming, by the way?
I'm waiting for it. This video better get views, and you can get to.
I think we will be there maybe but by the end of the year or before.
Oh, earlier. You're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I'm saying is new level, new devil. So it's not a destination, it's a journey. And I think my heart healed when I learned that. So I let go of things easily. If I mess up, whether it was stupid or unforeseen or whatever, I let go, I forgive myself faster. I don't dwell on it. I used to spend 3 days watching Netflix, pausing and crying and continuing with your movie. But today, I kind of I let go of things easy. And usually, I ask myself, what lesson am I supposed to learn in this situation? Because I don't want to repeat this again. So I've packed up lessons as I go. Usually, there are people who start a business, and I look at it, and I'm like, that's a miss, that's a hit.
That's a miss, that's a hit.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Anne. It's always lovely. 1 hour, 20 minutes.
You. Oh, wow. We've been talking a lot.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
The next time we will be talking about specifics, right?
We can go into specifics. Yeah.
So thank you very much, people of the internet. I want you to shout out your social media.
Yeah.
Where they can find you. Are you doing consultancy or no?
I am building a community of entrepreneurs because they're always in my DMs asking, Anne, can we talk? Can I have this much money? Which business do I start? Can we, always. And so I'm like, okay, I need to structure this. Being the automation person, I need to structure this. So you will find me on Unprepared to Entrepreneur. If you search hashtag Unprepared to TO Entrepreneur, you'll find me in all the platforms. Click the link in my bio. There's a community there. Join the community.
Is it a newsletter?
When it's ready, yes, it will encompass a lot. You see, we have the lives, we have the YouTube conversations, then there'll be a newsletter, but then also community-specific.
I'm going to build the newsletter.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to build the newsletter.
Yeah. So I really want to support because you can imagine I've been really through it. Why not come out and just share this knowledge? So join the community on my link wherever you find me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, people of the internet. Until another episode. Bye for now. Cheers.